There you go, Chris.
Good evening. What's up? It's your boy, Chris the Analyst Ventra, here with you. Another edition of Bridgeside Sports. And today we got another special guest on the show. He's visited us once already. This is the second time on the show. Mike Bukowski.
Thank you.
Fantasy sports guru.
Good to be here.
Good. I'm glad to have you.
Man, on a monster between the two of you.
They actually hate each other.
And then we have our boys right here. You know, the guys you know. Phil Cagliostro, Mr. Sports Science.
How's everyone
and
doing?
we got the Godfather. He's wearing a Godfather shirt over here. Win Allen Columbano.
I am a godfather.
He's a Godfather.
That's why I was on the show a couple
Guy
times.
becomes a godfather. That's all he wants to do.
That's why he missed one episode. He's a Godfather now.
Imagine that's your Godfather. That's poor kid. Jesus. All right.
There's no need to start the show like that.
Can we apologize?
You're a Bridgeside contributor. There's no need to start
Can we
the show.
apologize to your godson right now?
Yeah. Hope you got him something nice.
Don't listen to him,
Right?
Dominic.
But anyway, we got a good show tonight. We got a lot of things going on. We have, MLB. We're going to talk a little fantasy with you guys. The hockey playoffs is coming down to the wire, to the finals almost. And NBA playoffs, which we really want to get to.
Yep.
And then we're going to bring up, of course, our new segment, the segment we do every week. The last segment of the night, it's the question of the night. And tonight's question is, are the Cavaliers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Golden State Warriors good for basketball or bad for basketball? What do you guys think? Let us know. Comment on Facebook or on BridgesideProductions.com and let us know what you think. Then we're going to debate about it later in the show. But for now, we're going to start with a little hockey. We're going to see what's going on. I know Nashville Predators have been really lighting up the scoreboard.
That's been your team since the beginning. I think you.
You think that's my team?
I don't know, but no, I'm giving you kudos for the call. You pegged them early, and they had like Win was saying off the air, they're the equivalent of what an 8 seed would be in the NBA playoffs,
right?
And they're one game away, and they're actually winning 2-0 right now in the potential closeout game to go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Where are they right now? Home or away?
They're home.
That stadium arena rocks.
Nashville's a great city, man.
Nashville's awesome because it's all on one avenue. Because you have all these crazy bars and nightlife. Everybody, if you're in Nashville, you're on.
I've actually been there once. Yeah, you're right.
You're on that avenue,
I want to
and
go to
then
Nashville,
it's just like you go a couple more blocks down, and there it is, just sitting right there on the
Sounds
street.
like Chicago.
I was listening to Francesa probably a week or two ago, and he was talking to Pierre Maguire, and he's like, I know this sounds crazy, but if you have a chance to watch a hockey game, go to Nashville, because he said it's unlike any other
they're
arena
fans
in
like
hockey.
that?
Yeah,
And
man.
that's great.
They pack the house out, and you don't think it's Nashville as a hockey
exactly.
town.
They're a
That's
Southern American team.
Yeah.
That's why that's great for hockey, because they get into those things where, like, when the Tampa Bay Lightning were good, like, not
Florida-
that many people
Florida
cared. The
Panthers.
Florida
Well,
Panthers.
Tampa Bay's even bad with
But that's
baseball
what I'm saying.
too.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Not
But
really.
that city, that's not a hockey city. You usually think like Minnesota, Chicago, New
the
York,
Canadian
Detroit,
teams.
the Canadian teams.
Right, the northern cities.
Right.
With Nashville being that great of a city for hockey and having them doing good, that's great for the league. You got Anaheim versus Nashville right now.
Yeah, on the same
Right.
token, why does a team like Phoenix
It's true.
have a team?
It's true. I mean, that.
Yeah, but I mean, why they don't have a good
they don't
fan
really
base?
draw.
Yeah.
Well, but you know that guy Austin Matthews,
They're
the
also
pick, was from
pitiful.
Arizona.
Yes,
They're
which
also
is
bad.
surprising.
If that comes around, the guy Austin Matthews was the pick last year, #1 pick, who played really well for Toronto. He's from Arizona. So if Arizona can get some sort of NHL fan base, maybe you have kids looking up to him, knowing that he's from there.
Well, how do you think Nashville built that base? How do you think it happened? I think personally that
Just
it's
being
because
good. You got to be.
Well, not only that,
to
but
put in good seasons.
back in the day, you don't have. Think about it. Internet, all this stuff, like quick information, is kind of a recent thing if you look at the long term of human history.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 30.
Yeah,
it's only 40.
It's a blip on the radar.
Yeah, it's a blip on the radar. It's 30, 40, 50 years old, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Before that, how do you think these kids knew about hockey? Like, Canadian people just played it because they're near
Yes,
the ice.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Nashville now we're talking about an age where everybody knows everything. So
don't
they're
have to
building
play
that
it.
base by watching, on TV, watching on the internet. That's how you do it.
I mean, I don't know if there's more kids playing hockey in Nashville because the Predators are good.
Well, I'm not saying that. More kids
Well,
playing, but maybe the fan base.
I think it definitely has
Yes,
something
I
to do
agree.
with it.
If they're good, more people are going to want to play. More people are going to want to watch. That's just, come on.
I mean, I don't know
If
how
they're
many
bad?
opportunities there are to get on ice skating rinks.
Well, that
in
doesn't
Nashville.
necessarily have to be ice. It could be roller hockey, and then if you like it that much,
Does that
that's
turn
how you
to-
move on.
I think
NHL?
they're just a good.
It
There's
could.
just certain cities that are just starved for professional sports. They're just good
Okay,
sports
that
towns.
could
And
be-
I think
yeah.
Nashville
bored.
is just one.
And you know what's funny though? Stephen James made a comment on Facebook, who's a Bridgeside contributor, and he makes a really good point. The Thrashers,
There he is, Spider.
the Atlanta
Oh.
Thrashers did a horrible job
Thank you very much.
at another southern town,
Oh, they did.
a huge
Horrible.
sports
They did a
town,
horrible job of what?
a horrible job monetizing their.
They took it away from them. They went back to Winnipeg.
sir.
Yeah, they went back to Winnipeg,
The
which
Atlanta
makes
Thrashers
sense.
got moved
I
back
mean,
to Winnipeg.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but back to the series, 3-2. They should close out tonight. They're winning 2-0.
2-0. Still 2-0.
They're high-powered offense, huh?
Yep.
I
Web-
think that's
and
going to
they-
be a great
and they got a good
final.
goal.
If Pittsburgh goes ahead and takes care of Ottawa, I think that's going to be a really good final.
Oh, I
I'm
know
gonna
you
watch
want
that.
I know
Yeah,
you.
And you
I
know
like
what's so nice about that? That could go any way, you know? NBA, we'll get into the NBA.
Well, we all know how we feel about that.
predictable.
Very predictable.
But the NHL playoffs, if there's one thing we could say about it, is it's pretty unpredictable.
Yeah,
know?
I mean,
That's what makes it exciting every round, too. You know?
I mean, let's be honest. The Pittsburgh was down 2-1, and if the Cavs were down 2-1 to like a 6 or 7 seed, you'd be like,
what do you mean? The Cavs are down 2-1 to a 1 seed, and I still think they're going to win.
no,
the
they're
rest
up
of
to
the-
one. They're up
I mean,
to
they're
one.
up to one. Then that's
So like, but I'm saying like
You're right.
they're, Pittsburgh, they were losing 2-1. Like they might lose a series because they changed the
they
the
change the
Senators
goal?
changed they're usually in a 1-3-1. And they changed. They started forechecking like crazy that third game, and Pittsburgh didn't know what to do with it. They made some adjustments. They won Game 4, which is a huge game. They changed goalies, and then they just dominated. They dominated them last night. That place was rocking. You know,
7-0.
and I gotta say, you know what was awesome watching that game? It was 4-0 in the first. They scored another 3 goals, and every time they scored, the guys was like, "All right, quick handshake, no like going crazy," because they knew it was 5-0, 6-0, 7-0.
Oh, they didn't
If
like-
you look, no showing
like, run
off,
up
no
against the
nothing. Yeah,
boards.
nothing. It was just like, all right, we know this game's over, kind of thing. Very calm, very like this is what we're supposed to do, kind of.
Are you saying J.R. Smith doesn't do that when
Absolutely
the Cavs
not.
are up by 22?
Absolutely not.
He gives the pistols.
What about Jose Batista? And we'll talk about that later on. That
Yeah.
People are getting tired of that.
getting tired of it. I mean, you're
think so.
losing 5 runs. I don't want
know,
to touch too much. It's a little teaser for later, but you're down 5 runs. And I think the 5th inning, and you're walking the first.
Yeah.
You're walking 15 feet up the line. You deserve to get drilled, but we'll save that for later.
Just
on.
to switch
Lot
to
of
hockey,
drilling going on.
one more thing about the playoffs that's bothering me is it's really the only thing that bothers me is they don't have. I don't like the way they bracket in the NHL.
The new way?
Yeah, I can't stand it because I really
Terrible.
feel like they're missing an opportunity here because I think this should be Washington
Versus
Pittsburgh. But the way they bracket it, it's now they do it by division and then they do the 2 wild cards. They should do it. Basketball made a switch a couple of years ago. It's just the top 8 records, the seeded 1 to 8.
No,
whole conference.
no, just the top 4.
No,
I like that.
not anymore.
No, you can't win a.
No, it's the top 3. The 3 division winners.
Yes.
Then the rest.
I'm sorry, that's what
Yeah,
I meant.
it's
That
the
was
3
the
division
change they
winners and
made.
the rest, yeah.
That was
No,
the
but
change
now
they-
they switched to based on record.
No,
Are you
but
sure?
No, if you win your division, you can't
You're
be below
guaranteed
4.
a top 4.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's what I'm saying. It's not. It used to be top 3. Now it's if you win your division, you are guaranteed a home court advantage for the first round.
right. Which
You
to
could
a certain
all you could do
extent
is
I
you could
kinda
drop
like.
from 4 to 3.
No, I hate it.
You don't like that?
I hate it.
Why?
it's-
Wait,
They didn't
what do
go-
you hate?
They didn't go full
Basketball
blown.
or
I
on
hate
top
that,
8.
that you're giving that if you win a division, if you're in a crap division, I mean, I don't
You could
think that
theoretically
you
have
should
the
be-
second best record in
So
the
then,
league.
when it comes to football, you same thing. You think there should be no division. You think the top 6 teams should make it.
Yes.
Because if you're in a crap division in football, a couple years ago, what did Seattle win? 7? Not
What
Seattle.
about baseball?
Somebody won 7 and 9 or 8 and 8.
Seattle
the
did do that.
Vikings.
Seattle did do that. Then they
It
beat
was
the
Seattle?
Saints. Remember?
Right.
But someone
Why-
else did it twice.
Arizona.
No, it was the
Seattle.
It was
they beat
Minnesota.
The Saints, and
It was
they-
Minnesota,
I'm
I
saying,
think.
But Seattle did, and they beat the Saints. If
Right.
you remember in the first round.
Right.
What are you trying to do? You're trying to have the best win-loss record over the course of a season.
I think points and stuff
Why
like that
are we
matter
getting
more.
technical and moving teams around if you win divisions? It's less.
Well,
it's just less.
the
sensible.
NHL does it because they want to create rivalries. They want to guarantee you get the same teams playing each other
In the
early
first
on, in
rounds?
the first 2 rounds. That's why
They
do
did that
it.
with Pitt and Washington.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you look at the teams, the same teams are playing each other year after year. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're Pittsburgh's going to play the Rangers, the Islanders.
But I understand his point.
Nobody remembers.
Not Boston,
Nobody remembers a rivalry if it's played in the second round.
I agree.
The home
They
teams
want
do.
the
I
rivalry
agree.
played in the conference
I
final.
agree.
It would be a bigger
100%.
draw.
It would be a bigger draw. But I think they'd rather have. They're trying to gain more interest in those first 2 rounds. Hockey doesn't draw. Hockey doesn't draw, especially early on. They have trouble drawing for their finals and conference finals. You think they're happy right now. It could be Nashville, Pittsburgh wouldn't be too big, but Nashville, Ottawa.
No.
Oof.
Are you kidding me?
No, they were.
Nobody's jumping on the Nashville bandwagon, though. I thought they'd gain a mad good following at this point.
Come on.
It's because it's hockey.
You know?
But-
I mean, I know you're right, because hockey's just not that sport.
I know. Well,
It's not that sport.
next week we're looking at we'll have the Stanley Cup final set.
Yeah.
Hopefully for the NHL, it's Nashville.
Oh, Nashville won, it
Pittsburgh.
says.
No, they didn't win. Still going.
They've only
Game's starting
played
at
one
5.
period.
It says
2-1.
Nashville.
Anaheim actually scored. It's 2-1.
2-1.
now.
It's 2-1.
The opposite.
Paul, can we get the comments up on the screen here from
I think he's
Facebook?
working on it. I think we want to.
Switch gears.
Yeah.
You
Chris,
want
I
to
know
switch
you're-
gears? Okay.
This
I
will
was
go
waiting
right up
for you
your
guys
wall.
to say
We're
something.
going right up your wheelhouse. Fantasy baseball, right? Fantasy
Switch up
baseball,
gears,
baby.
All right. So that's the playoffs. Hockey not very good right now. No, it's actually very good. I like Nashville.
What the hell?
We're talking about fan bases though. But we're gonna go to fantasy baseball, and we're gonna come back to fantasy a little later. Well, MLB. We're gonna talk about the Yankees, the Mets. But right now, we're talking a little fantasy baseball because we don't really get into it too much during the show. As much as we do the other topics. So I want to talk about all the injuries going on right now,
That's the
just in
biggest thing
baseball
right
in
now.
general, but killing fantasy teams. I'm 2-5. Boo's 2-5. I'm sure a lot of you guys out
3
there
and 4.
are
I
pissed
snuck
about
one
it.
out. I snuck one out last week.
I'm 3 and
That's a big
4.
one.
You're 3 and 4 too. I got
You
7.
snuck one out too, right? You were close.
Yeah.
I saw you.
Dude, I
People
got
are going to turn off the broadcast. They don't want to listen to a bunch of losers on this.
We're all losing.
We're in a
No, but that
We're
just
all
goes to
6 and
show.
1.
Listen, we know what we're
Oh,
doing.
yeah, that's right. We'll give you fantasy advice. I'm 7 and 0.
But listen,
This is 6.
That just goes to show we know what we do. It's just that there's been a lot of injuries,
There
a
has
lot of
been a
key
lot of
injuries.
There has been a lot of
to a lot of guys.
The newest injury was, and this goes, and Chris called him out at the beginning of the year, Dallas Keuchel. You said he was going to have a great year, and he was throwing great this year. 1.84 ERA, he's 7 and 0.
Nerve.
Pinched nerve in your
Yeah.
neck. And I don't know if you guys, the pinched nerve in your neck that's a horrible injury to come back for. It cost Fielder his career. He had 2 fusion surgeries up there.
Yeah.
You guys heard about David Wright, the whole thing when he had the fusion in his neck, that comes from the pinched nerve. When you pinch the nerve, you might not be able to grip the ball. You might not be able to throw the ball. Your strength goes down. You might not be able to feel. A lot of pain down the arm. That's a rough injury, especially for a pitcher. Kershaw had a pinched nerve last year, and it was in his lower back, and he missed, 2-3 months?
He missed a while.
I
Yeah.
feel like tough to come back. And if
2 months.
If you have to go under, if it's, he has to. He's going to go through.
You think it's an injury that could actually
It's a bad
cost him his career in terms of he can't come back the same player?
It could.
It's
It could.
possible?
He has to go through his course of physical therapy and rehab, give him about 6 weeks, maybe 8, see how it goes. With the neck, it's tough. The lower
anything
back.
neurological
Yes,
almost.
Yeah.
exactly.
I feel like.
And the lower back, you can back off a little bit more than surgery, but the neck, the lower back controls the lower half of your body. The neck controls
Everything.
exactly. Controls everything. So if you're having continued neurological symptoms with numbness and tingling, it's going to be tough. We'll see how it goes.
I like that analysis, Mr. Sports Science.
Thank you.
I mean, you
tried,
talk about
I
a
tried.
guy,
Hopefully, he
Prince
comes back
Fielder.
without surgery because he's having a
I
great
hope
year.
so, 'cause I like
he
him a
has
lot.
surgery. Look at Dave Wright. Dave Wright hasn't been able to come back, and he's a third baseman. He hasn't come able to.
Well,
he can't.
he has an issue for a long time
I know,
now.
but I'm saying
Yeah.
he can't throw the ball from third base to first now. If Keuchel has to have surgery, how's he going to be able to pitch? So
Right.
You talk about a guy, Prince Fielder, who was he hit 50 home runs.
and then
And then he lost all of his power.
Yeah,
you
he
lose
really
your grip
did.
strength.
And
You
it,
lose.
it was at the
every
age of
month,
30
yeah.
that he lost
Yeah,
all of
you
his
lose your
power.
He still hit well, though, after that, for a little bit. He hit 300.
And that's all from a
but
pinched nerve?
just the
That's
thing.
all from the pinched nerve. Yeah, it could be. It's most likely a herniated disc. That's
Is that
why.
But is that something that happens? Is it as a result of playing, or is it just kind of hereditary? Like you
not really
slip
hereditary.
something?
You slip something. It could be from playing. Like I said, the pinched nerve is coming from the disc. The disc herniated out, so now it's pinching on the nerve root. It could come from a single event. It didn't sound like it did but it could have happened just from microtrauma
You don't
over and
know.
over again. And he was slowly hurting it. Maybe he wasn't as strong as he should be, and then one time he did something a little bit more, and then he felt a pop.
Yeah.
Well, between
No.
him, you got Freeman, who's having a monster year.
Oh, but did you see that, though?
He got hit by a pitch, right?
No,
Am
but
I
did
wrong?
you see what happened? He's kind of like, I don't know why he did that, because it wasn't really close to his body. Like, it wasn't going to hit him. He
almost-
swung. He chuck swung, and it hit his wrist right here, like out here, away from
The
his
inside,
body.
yeah.
He could have avoided that easily. That was
Well,
a bad
fractured
call by
wrist.
him. You know what I mean?
He's not getting surgery though. So that works out.
Well, he's out
Yeah,
for
but
what?
he's
6
still
weeks?
out. Yeah,
8
he's
weeks?
out a while.
He's got to build
And
up
he
his
was the
strength
best
back.
first baseman besides Zimmerman.
Unbelievable. He's averaging like 5.5 points.
He
a
was
game.
my
We
guy
were
for
just
the
talking
All-Star
about
game.
that.
And we're going to do that
Yeah.
soon, too, All-Star
Yes,
games.
that's gonna
He's
be
the guy that I did not see becoming a superstar just based on his first couple of years. But I mean,
I didn't think he
developed.
had the power.
The
way he
power
did.
came
He's
around.
batting 350 too.
But he always hit for a high average.
Yeah. No, he was always, and he walks a lot.
Yeah.
350 is high.
He's a great all-around hitter.
If you live in Atlanta, are you going to an Atlanta Braves game now that Freddie Freeman is?
Yes.
is
I'm
out
sorry.
for time?
I know
love
this is
baseball.
I know this is a complete tangent, but they just built a new stadium. Didn't they build a new stadium in 1996?
Yeah, for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stadium was
97,
20 years old and they built a new one?
It was a horrible stadium.
Yeah,
I was
mean,
never there.
it was
but I
very
heard-
bland.
It was very big and was
Alright.
built for the Olympics.
All right. I just wanted
It's very big
I was just thinking about
outfield
it.
gaps, bro.
They went through
Huge
That's
outfield
crazy,
gaps,
though, to
Turner.
rebuild. We were talking about Wrigley, how we hope they don't build
Yeah.
a new one. Atlanta built a new one after
They
20
want,
years.
they want more homers and stuff. But I wanted to talk about the injuries
Yeah,
as
sorry.
differently from fantasy, but just for 1 second, is that, I wonder how this is going to affect people with all this resting nonsense, all this money nonsense. Now people are going to be like, look how many guys are just getting hurt out of nowhere with pinched nerves and this and that. It's like, this is going to kill when they talk about innings limits. Like, people are going to baby the crap
First of
out
all,
of everybody.
I don't
now.
think
I agree
pitch
with
count
you.
should be
Baby the
thrown
crap out of them.
I agree
out
with
the
you.
window.
What?
I think
I
pitch
know,
count
but
should be
look at
thrown.
what's going on. Everybody's getting hurt.
Everybody worries about guys, and this goes into even little league and high school and stuff. Everybody worries, you can't throw too many pitches, you can't throw too many pitches.
But when? All right.
But I'm not saying throw 200 pitches in a game.
No,
I'm
but-
not saying throw 200 pitches
Listen,
in a game.
we
But
live
I
in
am
the day and age where stats are everything. If
Right.
you look at stats, I'm gonna listen. As a pitcher and a guy who I would like to throw 140 pitches, I don't want to come out of a game, right?
Right.
But if you look at stats, and everything is stats now, pitchers are much less effective once they get to 100 pitches. They're not taking them out because they think they're going to get it. Most of the time, they're taking them out because everybody has monster relievers now.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Oh my
arguing
God,
that
the
fact. I'm
relievers
not
are like-
arguing
We're just
that they're
unbelievable.
not as
Astros.
effective. But once you cut a guy off at 100 pitches in high school, college, that's why guys are getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
If your max is 100 and you're going to your max every single game, if you never go to 120, 130, that's unheard of this day and age. But if you go back 30 years ago,
Oh, my God, yeah.
guys did that on a consistent
Dude,
basis.
guys used to pitch 300 innings, like 250, 300
I remember
Yeah, but they
Lebron
didn't throw
Hernandez
as
used to
hard,
throw
though.
160 pitches sometimes.
Yeah, but they
in a
didn't
game.
throw as
Well,
hard.
and also money. They weren't getting paid like
But they
guys
also
are getting
didn't
paid
throw
for
as
that.
But
hard,
why
man.
are
Now everyone throws 100
why are
miles
there
an hour.
so many Tommy John surgeries? Why are so many guys getting hurt? If we everything we do in terms of
I don't think there's a simple answer.
no, but I'm saying
I bet
there is-
steroids have something to
there
do
is
with
a
parts
Big
of it.
part of it too is everybody's under a microscope constantly. They go to the bathroom and then they come out and they get an MRI. You know what I mean? They're getting checked up
This guy
all the time.
supported Syndergaard saying no to his
Injuries,
MRI.
That might be it, too. Yeah.
Injuries, they don't
They're
go
under
under the
microscope.
radar anymore. Everybody.
So you think that guys were getting hurt back then? They just weren't being reported?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Nah,
yes.
no way.
Yo, I guarantee
People
you.
pitched
how
a lot more injuries than they do today.
Well, you got
I
guys.
bet the old time guys were like all banged up and they were like, let's
But you
just
know
keep
what?
going.
But you know
what I mean?
what?
Let's just
But
keep playing.
were they as effective? Probably. Wheeler said, I need another day of rest. It's May. You haven't pitched in 2 years. Coach, I need a day of rest? Come on. Come on
Well,
now.
who wants a wuss like
Well, he's
that?
a
I mean,
Met.
somebody says something like that.
But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, but
Are
think
you
about that.
kidding me?
If you're a manager and you're in a team and we've all played teams together, a lot of us have played together, like
Yeah.
if Mike ever came to somebody who's like, yo, I can't pitch today, my arm's tired, I'd be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but
Toughen
you'd
up.
also know that he's
know?
really hurt because he wants to play. We're playing for free. You know what I mean? It's
No,
different.
I get that. But this guy hasn't pitched in 2 years and he's asked for days. I just think that you're perpetuating a cycle. These guys don't throw enough. Nolan Ryan is against pitch counts.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan.
The guy who struck out the.
So,
basically-
so where does this go from here? Does the pitch count keep getting low? 20 years from now, is 80 going to be
That's
the number?
what what I mean. But that's why guys are
no,
getting
you know
hurt
what's going
so
to happen,
much.
right?
They don't throw enough. They
Yeah.
talk about there's some people will say, and it's definitely possible that when you're growing up now, it's not like you're in all these showcase games in high school and college,
Right.
and it's a big money making thing. And McCutcheon wrote a great article.
And you're going
on
your
that.
all every time.
McCutcheon wrote a great article a couple years ago in the Players Tribune about how it's just such a money making thing as guys get older, and they're constantly throwing, but not in a sense where. They're constantly throwing in the sense that they're pitching all year round, so there's no off time.
Yeah.
And then when they get to college and the pros, they've thrown more innings.
Right. So you're saying they got a not a good balance
right.
of
Right.
throwing a lot back
Exactly.
then. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
But
wrong.
I understand. I agree with that. But I think that it's just.
I think it also is honestly. I think it's been changing a little bit, but kids throw curveballs really early, man.
That's.
I know you
Haven't
always
they
said. I
always?
remember you always said they should be throwing a changeup instead.
Yeah, you're not supposed. That's how you tear your own nerve. I mean, you're not supposed to throw
Not
a
supposed to
curveball
do it too
if you're
early,
14,
yeah.
15
That's what I'm
years
saying.
old.
They throw curveballs. I
You
mean,
see
I
kid-
remember
you see
playing on
these
the
little-
Bensonhurst Rams with kids trying to throw curveballs.
Yeah.
It's moronic.
that's-
Anybody throwing curveballs that age is
You
very,
should-
very
honestly,
stupid.
the way they tell you really shouldn't work out till you're like fully developed, like 18.
Because,
That
look,
should be the same thing with
As
curveball,
you're a
I
kid-
think.
yeah,
But you
as
can't
you're
do
a
that.
kid- Yeah,
18's too late.
You have to throw as a kid. You have to throw because that's what Wynn's saying.
'Cause that's
how
a messed
your
up
arm,
motion.
your arm
Throwing in general
anatomically
is not
adjusts
right, yeah.
to being a pitcher if you throw that.
Yeah.
If
I
you throw
remember-
that young, but. It's throwing. You need to give yourself some time off too. You can't just throw every day, and you shouldn't be throwing curveballs. But you also got to remember, and I do agree with you that the old time, but they weren't throwing as fast as these guys are throwing now. And who's throwing 100 miles an hour?
Well, what's the reason
now?
for that?
Everyone throws 100 miles.
Is there an
an hour. 'Cause people
explanation why
are
they're not throwing
stronger.
fast?
People work out more.
Right.
This
Maybe that
sports
affects
science.
their-
Yes, your body
know?
isn't.
Their
Maybe your
tendons?
body just isn't made to throw this fast
No.
all the
You know
time.
what it might be? Maybe the guys back in the day didn't really work out with heavy weights and all that
No,
much.
they didn't.
So they
No,
were
no,
more
they
limber.
didn't.
You know what I mean?
They didn't.
They were
No,
more
these guys are
limber. But these
flexible.
guys,
No, these guys are flexible.
They're killing their joints by working out. That hurts
Yeah,
your joints.
yes.
It's not good for your joints to work out too
But
much.
you have
heavy
to,
lifting.
But
you know what I mean?
But the margin of error when you're throwing 90 miles an hour compared to the margin of error when you're throwing 100 miles an hour is so minuscule. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that margin of error gets so tiny. If you're just not as flexible as you should be in your shoulder,
Right.
there goes your elbow because you're throwing 100 miles
And
an hour.
people
If
do it
you're
all
throwing
different
90
ways,
miles
too.
an hour, maybe you would have got away
Yeah.
with it. You
And
know
then the
what
other
I'm
thing is,
saying?
one of the best pitchers in the league, Sale. Maybe top three. at least.
worst.
The worst mechanics. The
Horrible.
worst mechanics.
Well,
dude.
Lincecum had terrible
I'll tell
mechanics
you
too.
what, time out.
They just got
He
bad.
didn't
They
get
got
hurt.
hurt.
He didn't last
They just got
So
bad.
what your point just was, look at, and this we can end on this, and we got to move on.
Yes. Agreed.
If you look at those two guys' body types, Lincecum and Sale, they're like string beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very loose arms.
not
and it's all
guys
arm
that's
speed.
jacked
It's
working
not,
out.
It's not Syndergaard adding
true.
17 pounds of
That's true.
muscle.
That
Those
You know
guys,
Sale's not working out.
Doesn't make
He
any
ain't
sense.
lifting heavy weights.
he's
you're
170 pounds
Exactly.
soaking wet. And
These
then
guys-
throws
those
the
are
ball
the best
97
pitchers.
miles an
They
hour.
need
Yeah,
to
but
strengthen
eventually
their
it caught
legs.
up to Lincecum.
Pedro Martinez was a short
Yeah,
little
eventually it
string
caught
bean.
up to Lincecum. I mean, overnight.
Well, there
pretty
could,
much.
but
But
there could've-
Lincecum was very
there could've been
short.
other reasons, though.
and his mechanics, I think, yeah, they
His
were a little
mechanics
messed. They
weren't
were
that
messed.
bad.
I mean, there was parts of it
he was
that were
herky jerk, but his
Yeah.
mechanics weren't necessarily bad.
And when a
Sale's
guy like
mechanics
that
are
who throws
bad.
hard, that guy threw really hard for a small guy. It's hard to sustain that once you get injured. But anyway, we'll move on. But I wanted to say one more thing because we really didn't talk about fantasy at all. I just want to say a couple of guys.
We did fantasy injuries.
No, I
we
just
do
want to
wanna
say a
get
couple
you
of guys
Yes,
that you
get
might
you
want
guys.
to pick up.
Get you guys in.
Couple guys I picked up. One guy I picked up, Herman Marquez on the Colorado Rockies. He's a rookie. He's a top 100 prospect. He's been pitching really well, and I think the last couple of starts, I believe he had like 8 Ks, one game, 5 Ks. He's K'ing a lot of guys. If you need Ks, if you need help, he's a good guy. There's other guys out there in the free agency. Couple rookies. Bradley Zimmer on the Cleveland Indians, top 100 prospect, just called up recently this week. Ian Happ on the Chicago Cubs, another one, highly touted prospect.
He said cleanup the other day.
Yeah, but that's
Madden's
Madden,
nuts.
but it's crazy
Madden's
lineups.
nuts.
You know what's nice to see,
Madden's
though?
nuts.
It's just
Zobrist
nice.
is batting leadoff, but we talked about this. Remember,
They
we said
moved
who's batting
Schwarber
leadoff?
finally.
No, Madden will
Schwarber should be
drop
two.
somebody down if they're cold for like 4 days. You know what I mean? Like he'll move it all
I
over.
like the input though. Analysts on the guys to pick up.
Yeah.
That was good.
Well, you know what's nice is a lot of the guys you named Bradley's. It's the young. These guys
Yeah,
are coming
This
up.
is when they're
and they're
coming up
hitting.
June.
But they're coming up.
But this is
and
when they're going to come up.
But they're producing right away.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about all the young guys between Zimmer and Judge and Barrios came up, and he's like
Benintendi.
Benintendi. Well, he was up last
He's still
year.
a rookie though, but he's ripping.
Bellinger on the Dodgers. I mean, these guys
Bellinger,
are like
yeah.
there's like a very bright future in Major League Baseball.
Yes.
All these guys are coming up, and they're very exciting. young
No, they're all
players.
great. And I wanted to say one thing. This is exactly what's going to happen in the future of baseball, by the way, about the pitching thing. It's going to be no rotation anymore. It's going to be 2 innings. Phil, 2 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings. Everybody's going to pitch 2 innings. It's going to be all bullpen. And that's how it's going to go
But
in the future.
a coworker of mine, Nick Gary Follows, said that he quoted Dr. James Andrews. And when I was actually talking about it, because I went to a class.
He's a physical therapist.
He's a physical therapist as well. Talking about I went to a class and he was talking about the throwing program. Dr. James Andrews, and he's the guy you always hear doing surgeries. When a player goes see Dr. James
know he's
Andrews,
done.
it's bad news. He said you should start throwing curveballs when you start shaving.
Yeah, but I didn't start.
So what are
I
we
got no
saying?
facial hair. I didn't start shaving until I would still not. Be
Don't
So then
people
you
shave
shave
at
your
different times of their life?
Yes, but it's just
It's an analogy.
it's an analogy to
Yeah, I
say
know
you should
when.
start you should start throwing curveballs later. Like when to throw a changeup, master a
Any young
changeup.
kid's fastball
And then when
change.
you-
Change is more effective.
Then
than
when you
curveball
start
anyway.
going through puberty a little bit more, then get into the curveball. So that's
Yeah.
a call from Dr. James Andrews. You can't get better than that.
Good input, Dr. James.
Moving on.
We're
That's
going to
Dr.
move
Nick.
on.
That's Dr. Nick.
Thanks for calling
We're
it,
going to
Dr.
move.
James.
Dr. James Andrews, go.
Big
pick
fan
up,
of the
pick
show.
up Matt Garza, 2-star pitcher next
Matt
week.
Garza, 2-star pitcher right there. Here for Phil. No, we can talk more fantasy. If you want to hear fantasy tips, send me messages on Bridgeside or whatever because we can't do it right now. We're moving on to basketball. NBA playoffs is heating up. No, it's not.
We thought it was heating up last
Golden
week.
State won every game.
Last week we thought it was heating up. Last week we thought it was heating up. The Spurs played the
Two teams
Warriors
won
good.
every game so far.
No,
That's the
finally,
NBA playoffs.
finally the
I know.
Finally,
So I got a call from Paul last night. Oh, what's up, Paul? Did you see the Cavaliers lost?
Yeah,
I thought they lost the series. I'm like,
You thought
wait,
they
that
were
can't
down
be.
2-1.
I said, it can't be. The series isn't over. He's like, oh, yeah, they lost the game. I said, they lost the game. They're up 2-1 now. Who cares? They lost one game in the whole playoffs.
LeBron did.
And
You know
Isaiah
what?
wasn't there, which is
But
interesting.
You had to mention it. I just was prepping you to talk about it tonight.
I just wanted to say that.
He was
because
directing you.
what
He was
called
directing you
it.
even off the air.
Did you see Game 2 of that series though?
Oh, my God.
If,
They were up by 50.
if you told me the Cavaliers were playing Utrecht High School, I would have believed you. They were up 71. They were up by 41. They were up by
At halftime.
41 at halftime. That's a record. Then they were up by 50
On the
at some
road.
points.
All right.
Yeah. in Boston.
Tell me, I would like, if anybody comments this, I'd be shocked. Anyone said that the Celtics were going to win last night.
Yeah,
I don't think there's
Before
any.
the game or
No. Once you
What was
found
the
out
spread?
Isaiah Thomas, 17.
Had to be, right?
Once you found out Isaiah Thomas wasn't playing, did anybody in their right mind think the
Think that,
Celtics
yeah,
were going to
right?
win that game?
No, I don't know
Especially
how
at home.
I
Cleveland's
still
home.
don't know how that happened.
I don't know either.
I looked at the stats.
LeBron didn't
Marcus
score a
Smart
point.
had 27
He
points.
didn't score a
and
point in the fourth.
LeBron didn't score.
And they
He
needed
didn't score a point in
LeBron
the
to just
fourth.
have his
They
worst game.
LeBron,
in his,
the
one of his
Cavaliers were
worst
up by
games.
21 in the third quarter. You thought it was just the same old story. And then they came back. Did you see the shot Bradley hit at the end of the game?
Bounced around,
It bounced around every part of the rim and then went in. So it hit the rim about 3 seconds left in the game. And if he switched
That
it,
was the type of game it was.
If he switched it, the Cavs would have had a chance to. The Cavs would have had a chance to come back, and it just bounced around, and score point.
I want to ask you something because you're the doctor here. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Sports.
Have you ever seen the best player on two of the remaining four teams just pretty much crap out and say, "All right, I'm out of the playoffs"? I mean, are these injuries that serious that
Whose injury are you talking about?
Kyrie's got to be.
we're talking
Thomas.
about? Kyrrie and Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
Just
Kyrie's
pretty
has
much
to be.
bowing
You mean
out
Kawhi?
for the playoffs.
Why do I say Kyrie? I don't know.
Kawhi
I can't
Leonard.
remember.
I said the same
I'm
thing.
terrible like that. I'm not good with names.
Cowie.
Cowabunga.
Are you saying Kyrie or Cool?
I thought he said Kyrie, like Kyrie Irving. I'm like, Irvin's hurt?
It's like Kyrie.
No.
Like you said, like Kyrie, like a 5.
Kawhi.
I mean,
Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard and Isaiah Thomas, the best players on the respective teams. I mean,
A sprained ankle could be really bad. If you remember,
Is it a
Curry-
high ankle? Or?
If you remember, I don't think it's a high ankle though. But if you remember,
Especially if
Curry,
he's a basketball player.
Curry's career, Curry missed like a whole season from a sprained ankle,
Yeah.
and everyone talked about is he
They already said, "Oh,
is he
come on."
fragile?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
he can't hop around in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, to me,
I'm surprised he missed all the games. To be honest, I think he missed this game because they just know they're going to lose.
Wait, you think
oh, you're talking about Kawhi now.
you
yeah,
think
I'm talking about
Kawhi
Kawhi.
wouldn't play if he wanted
I think-
to? The guy's an animal.
I think
Come on.
someone told him
I
not to
love
play
Kawhi.
this game. To be honest,
Well, this game maybe yes.
exactly.
But
This
the
game,
earlier
only
games,
this game.
The earlier
You know what?
games he was
Only
hurt.
this game.
Popovich doesn't, and
Papa just looks to the
He
future.
knows he lost the
series. Is
series.
over.
But it's like
He
as if
knows
these
that.
series could get any worse. Now the best player on the two teams that are down
I know.
big in the
I know.
series.
Thomas, I'm not sure. I just saw it was a hip injury. I didn't see any specifics about it. I
Popovich
don't know
does
if they
not-
revealed any specifics about it, so I don't know much about it. But the sprained ankle could linger. Sprained ankles could be really bad. If it's a really bad sprain,
Yeah.
it could be worse than a fracture.
But
You
I
could be
think the win was
you could
an
be on
anomaly.
crutches for 2 weeks.
It's an
yeah, it was
anomaly.
definitely an anomaly.
Especially without Thomas.
Cleveland comes out tomorrow night and beats them by 25.
Yeah,
They're 15-point favorites.
should.
They
should.
will.
Send it in
They
Cleveland.
should.
They were up by 25 yesterday.
They're gonna
surpri-
bury
and they
them.
won
I'm
by
surprised though
55 the other.
LeBron shrinks in the fourth quarter. That's
John
the
Lackey's
LeBron.
terrible, by the
I
way.
thought that was
Fantasy.
the. I thought
John Lackey. He's
he's
terrible.
watching John Lackey while we're doing
He's
this.
terrible.
His fantasy
5 earned runs in the 5th inning. I thought that was the LeBron we don't see anymore. The LeBron that doesn't score in the fourth quarter that when they face the Mavericks in the
It's
finals.
gonna happen once in a while.
Oh, that was
But
a
it shouldn't.
long
But
time
it should.
ago.
But
He
I know it's a long
so
goal
you
ago.
think he should be hot every single game,
He
every
should-
time out?
LeBron should never have 0 points in the fourth quarter of a playoff
Okay,
game.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Shouldn't have zero.
That's all
yeah.
I'm saying. Okay.
Shouldn't have zero.
I'm
But
not
he could
saying,
get cold.
but not in the fourth quarter. He should have 1 point, at least a minimum of 1
Okay,
point in
fine.
the fourth quarter of every
One
playoff
point.
game.
He
for
should
the
have
rest
more
of
than
his
1.2.
career.
He's still a
Okay,
human
he should have more than
being.
one. But if you want to be the
He was
greatest,
playing like an actual machine
He's
robot
playing
before that.
unbelievable.
I
I,
mean,
have to say, and I'm not to knock LeBron anyway, because this might be the best basketball in the playoffs that I've seen him play right now. He's playing unbelievable.
I know.
He's hitting his 3-pointer
Because
better
he's
than I've
comfortable.
seen.
He's
playing like a
comfortable.
man
You know what I mean?
He's hitting a
comfortable.
3-pointer better than
He
I've
got
seen.
past that barrier of everybody saying, "Oh, he's not clutch." That barrier is gone.
I
That
agree.
barrier has been knocked
I
down.
agree, and I think
Now
he's
you don't
very
have to
happy
worry
about
about
it.
that.
I
So
think
he's
he's
playing
very happy.
comfortably.
he was pissed off yesterday in the post game stuff because they're asking him a ton of
Oh,
questions.
first
What
of all,
happened? What? What?
Can I just say?
No. Let Mike talk.
Time out.
No, I'm agreeing with
Time
you.
out.
Mike's talking.
I'm agreeing with you. Stop muting me, this guy, every week.
Yo, this is Mike.
Yeah,
Listen, Godfather.
just mute him, Paul. Don't you got it? Don't worry about it.
Listen. So you look, what happened now? I lost my train of thought. No, he's
moving on,
getting
no.
hammered. He's getting hammered in the post game, right? And he was pissed off, and he has every right to be because I mean the guy is playing near perfect basketball.
He is.
And then he has one game. He's a human being,
And then they're gonna bring that
all right?
up.
And they're just talking about
They're
asking him
retarded.
1,000 questions about what happened. How did this happen? This is your worst performance. I mean, come on.
got
I
nothing
was
else to
gonna,
deal
I was
with.
gonna agree with
Deal
you.
with
Yeah,
it. No, I think you got to deal with it.
I was gonna
Deal
agree
with
with
you.
you. I was gonna say because they.
Mike has nothing to say now because you agreed with
No,
me.
I googled. I
Come on,
googled the game
disagree with
today.
me.
I googled
disagree
the,
with you.
It pops up, and the headline I read was LeBron snaps at reporter. I'm like, what did this guy snap about? I look at the video, and it's him going, "Man, you only come around, we lose, huh?" Just like that. Talking to a reporter, he's like, "Wow, I haven't seen you in a while. You only come around, we lose." He didn't
great,
snap.
actually.
He
That's
didn't
great,
even.
actually.
He didn't do anything.
It was
And
a
the media's
joke,
just
like,
trying to
yeah.
bait him.
Yeah,
You know, he
it
had
was
one
like-
bad game. I agree.
It happened.
And I'm not a big LeBron
noticeably
fan.
But here's
upset.
the question.
He was
Here's
upset,
the
but he
real
lost.
question.
That's okay.
The real question is, who is going to win the finals when these two meet?
And we'll
That's
get
the
there.
question.
We'll
'Cause-
get there.
Wait, and I understand your logic because you said Golden State. Now I was thinking, well, Cavaliers barely won by a nose hair last year against them, and that was without Durant. So logic says Golden State's going to win.
We'll
Logically,
get
Golden
there.
State's going to win.
I think we should save that. We'll get there.
Save
we'll
that
be
for what?
We'll be talking about the Cavs and Warriors at the end of the show.
well, that's if it's good or bad for basketball.
We'll
that's a
talk
different
about that.
question.
Well,
Is
That's
it
a
good? Is it
different
good for
question.
basketball if the Brooklyn Nets is so terribly managed that they
No.
just give away picks like it's their job?
That's what I was going to bring up, the lottery. The Cavs are doing
Yeah.
this to the number one seed in the league, first of all. The number one seed in the league, they're just destroying them. And the second thing is, this number one team got the first pick in the draft. Can someone please tell me what Billy King was thinking when he made this trade for that? He's
was
giving
like,
up
oh, we're doing Brooklyn Nets.
4 straight years. Do you realize the Celtics have the Nets pick next year?
Why yelling, man?
He's
Because
getting
it's
excited.
ridiculous.
NBA draft lottery?
Yeah, we're
That's
moving
what
on
I'm
to
moving
the
on
draft
to.
lottery.
All right, moving on to
I don't-
draft lottery. Go graphic.
No one else think this is ridiculous. The Celtics have the Nets the number one pick next year too.
I'm all
Well,
for
this
And
is
then
all
the
the way
year
back.
after that.
When did they do this trade?
And they traded Garnett and Pierce.
Right,
4 years
exactly.
ago?
That's
That's
when they try to win
unbelievable.
now.
But
you know?
I never get mad at a team for trying to win now.
But those are horrible
But
trades.
what they gave up
Dude.
was
You
in a
gave up
big-
old
4
players.
straight years of swapping or giving up your first round pick. Do you realize the Celtics could have the number one pick next year,
Also,
and they still might not be able to beat the
but
Cavs.
forget
but that's
even the
another
picks.
reason.
If you're going to give up those picks, though, get players that are at least entering their prime, not players that are at the end of their
Yeah.
prime.
They were
That's what I
washed
You know
mean.
what I mean? That's
They were
dumb.
washed
No,
up.
that's what I'm saying.
dumb.
How bad that
Yeah.
trade was. Now the Celtics are the number one pick. The Lakers have the number 2 pick, which is kind of crazy. The Celtics and Lakers are picking 1, 2.
Yeah.
And our
Well, the
great,
Lakers
and
are
our-
bad.
Yeah,
Wow.
the Lakers,
Lakers
is,
need it
this is
bad.
the Lakers. This is
Lonzo
their
is
fourth,
coming.
This is the Lakers' 4th lottery selection.
Well, who do you think?
And then our great New York Knicks are picking number 8.
Can we talk
Number
about?
eight.
Oh, they got
Damn
screwed.
Knicks
They
are
always get
picking
screwed.
8.
Yo, can I?
They also have been
Yo, can I
horribly
just say
unlucky
next
with the
week? Can
draft.
I not sit next to Phil in my left ear? He's screaming in my ear like crazy. Come on, man.
Where are you going to sit next week? Where are you going to sit next week?
I don't know. You're right. I
Switch
don't know. I
with
feel
Bill.
very, very close to you.
I'm very mild.
That's because there's 4 of us on the show.
I know.
Guys, let's talk about. I want to
Should
talk
we not
a little
get
bit about,
worked up?
I want to talk about ball.
Okay.
right?
Which
You want
one,
to
Lonzo?
Well,
Or Lamar.
I'm sure we're going to get there very. Yeah. So, I mean, would you draft this kid with his father just being the complete nutcase?
Supposedly his basketball IQ is off the charts.
They have him going in a lot of
Who, the
mock
dad?
drafts. Second.
To
the Lakers.
To the Lakers. Imagine, and then he's going to bring his father out to
Oh
LA.
my God!
They're going to make a
Well, they're
fortune.
from LA.
At some point, he's gonna.
Yeah, well, that's
there's
true.
gonna be a fight between him and LeBron, like on the court, at like a year or 2 from now.
LeBron?
What?
The dad or the son?
The dad and
Dad's gonna
LeBron.
fight
They're gonna
LeBron.
like he's gonna
But
come
by-
to the court for some reason. and
But by
fight.
all accounts, the son
It'd be
isn't-
retarded, but it'd be
is
funny.
pretty easygoing, right? The son is not a lot like his
No,
father.
he's actually very kind of mild-mannered and
Yeah, he's a good
a
kid.
smart, like, good kid.
He's a good kid.
Where his father like
His
gets off
sneakers-
going asking $3 billion with the B like Austin Powers, $3 billion.
The mother must have been a saint because the father's horrible.
His sneakers are going for $500.
But it's, did they show like a prototype of the sneaker, or he's just talking out of his ass?
I'm not sure.
No, they're
yet, but
$499 sneakers, and I believe they're $200 slippers or flip flops or after slides, whatever you want to
Who's
call
gonna
them.
buy that? And
Who?
the father
What
said.
happened?
The
Who's-
father
I didn't
said
see
if
this.
you don't want to
Lonzo
spend.
Balls.
The father said if you don't want to spend $500 of shoes, we don't want you to buy the shoes. Who wants
And
to
he
buy
said,
stuff?
He's like his
and
manager,
He said,
like-
he said, and I quote: "We do not have to market to women. We don't care about women."
He said that.
woman, not even
kidding.
women, woman.
This guy's gonna
Hey,
get
woman.
assassinated, bro. I'm not joking around.
by a woman.
No, I was gonna say that. If I would
I don't know.
draft
Don't
him
quote me on that. Something to that
and
effect.
assassinate him like a year later, or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Wait,
can't.
who's going to assassinate him?
He's
The
such
GM and a Lakers?
he's like baggage for this kid. You know what I mean?
No,
It's
of course.
baggage for
The
this kid.
son's gonna kill him.
Well, he's either like
That's what I'm saying. Somebody's gonna
gonna have edible
hurt this
complex.
guy. You know what I mean? Like,
But
you gotta
I-
stop saying.
I don't
stupid
think it's
stuff.
going to affect his draft stock.
He's gonna go to
No,
Lakers.
he's gonna
go up
He's
there.
not gonna. He's not gonna drop past 2, 3.
The only way he does
Maybe
it,
he's a
2-3, yeah.
genius. Maybe his dad's a genius.
maybe the Knicks
No, I think it's-
trade up.
No, the Knicks knows. No,
Can
no,
they?
no one wants to
Does that
trade
happen a lot in
Maybe
basketball?
Can I ask you?
I don't know
I want to
that
ask
much.
you.
Do they do that?
I'm going to ask you. Who do the Knicks have to trade?
Oh, it's pathetic.
Tim
There you go.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Porzingis
That's
has
the team,
not.
crazy.
The only guy is Porzingis.
Porzingis has not spoken to any member of the New York Knicks since the last game of the
Disgusted.
season.
He's disgusted.
He
I don't blame him.
flipped his exit interview, and Phil Jackson just spoke to Porzingis' brother. They finally got in contact with the guy.
Why? What was he? What happened?
He's so
He went
disgusted.
into isolation.
Yeah, he's so disgusted with what is become the Knicks or what the team he's a part of that he just left.
Well,
after
there's
the
a
last
lot
game
of
the year.
pressure too, because you're the Knicks. You know, MSG, all that aura. It's tough. Like if the Utah Jazz are bad, nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like, but
All
the
I
Knicks
know
are
is
different.
I thought Isaiah
Utah
I
kid.
thought Isaiah Thomas was bad when he was running the Knicks. But Phil Jackson,
Might be worse.
it almost seems like he's out to actually ruin
The only thing
an already
the only
down
thing,
on their luck franchise.
The only thing Phil
Right.
Jackson can do to get as bad as Isaiah Thomas is get into a rape scandal the way Isaiah Thomas did and
Oh, it's
cost
coming.
the team $12 million. You think Phil Jackson's going to get into that?
It's coming soon.
Oh.
And we're going to trade
I
for
think
Steve
wasn't it
Francis
sexual
again,
harassment? No,
Sexual harassment. I'm sorry. You're right. Sexual harassment. I apologize.
trade for Steve Francis.
Yeah,
Can't-
that'll be the next
if
one.
if
Casino
the
Mobley.
Casino Mobley. Oh.
if
Did
the
the Knicks have
Boston
Mobley?
Celtics,
Yeah, they had
They
Mobley.
did have
They had the
Mobley
same
at one point,
trade,
right?
Mobley
Yeah.
and Francis.
Oh my God.
They got Tracy McGrady at some point.
they never have a. I feel like they haven't had a really good point guard in a really long
Penny
time.
Hardaway.
We had Penny Hardaway after 8 surgeries in his knee. We had Penny Hardaway.
Can't.
Yeah.
You
All right.
can't.
Like the
You-
talk
You know what? I can't talk about that. Can we move on? I
You
can't
can't
talk
make
about
I
that.
don't know
I'm
why
sorry.
they just all
Can
make
we move
bad
on?
decisions.
Can we
Let's
move
talk
on?
about
I was
the
going to say
Yankees.
something. I got
Let's go to
something
the
to bring up.
Yankees. Let's go to the Yankees,
Well, I was going
please,
to bring up
please.
one thing.
Okay, one thing, please. I just got to go off the
Move us
You
on,
just say
Chris.
yes or no.
Chris, move
Just
us
say
on.
yes or no.
All right.
Do you think the Boston Celtics, if they get this kid Markel Fultz, do they have a chance to make maybe
No.
beat Cleveland
No.
next year? No,
Not in the
No?
immediate future.
No.
No, but I think they're going to trade the
It's a great pick.
No,
They're
we'll
far
talk about
away.
it later. I think they're going to trade the pick. But
Okay. All right, we're going to move on. So it's going to be Golden State Cavs. We're still thinking same thing.
Same thing everybody thought on the first day of the season.
on the first day of the season.
So excited.
Basketball. That's basketball for you folks.
Move us on, Chris.
MLB, Yankees, Mets.
Yankees still in first place.
Still in
Half a
first
game,
place.
Still in first place.
Still in first place.
I've been
Judge
very
still
impressed.
ripping. Judge leading the league in homers. 15.
the Judge Chambers.
Leading the league in homers, boys.
What are we
15.
looking at?
Aaron Judge, baby. They made a thing in Yankee Stadium. Where is it? In right
I believe it's in the
right
outfield.
field?
Right field.
Right field bleachers. It's called Judge's
Chambers.
Chambers. Judge's Chambers.
Judge.
Hey, what do you guys think about that?
But it looks like where the jury sits.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it looks like but
It's supposed to be like a juror's booth. but
Right.
The judge. I guess the judge's chamber.
well, that makes sense because there's only one judge and it's a bunch of seats, so it's got to be the jurors. It's got to be like a jurors
They're not going
booth.
to name it the Jurors. so
Yeah,
that's not
exactly
his
because
name.
it's not his name.
What I
That's why
thought
did
when
that.
I saw this is that it's a very un-Yankee like move. To
It
do
is.
something like this. It seems like a cheap marketing ploy. And that's not really what.
I'm
they usually
surprised
do.
because the Yankees. I mean, they've had great players before that they've chose Judge to do this with.
Yeah, but their name wasn't catchy, so they couldn't do it.
Such an
Jeter's
easy name.
Chambers. It doesn't make any sense.
Plus, he's a rookie.
When Alan Colombano, a.k.a. Win, was a Yankee, would they do something for a name?
They'd call me Lose.
Plus, you have to think.
Win his corner.
You have to think that
The winning way.
rookies, especially, we're all a victim of this sometimes. We all love to see a rookie do great. You know what I mean? We all love young players. Sometimes we fall victim to that, thinking that they're going to be better than somebody else who's been playing a longer time. So it's exciting to see a young rookie that's leading the league. He's going to make the All-Star game. That's without a doubt.
Right. He'll probably start.
He should.
And if he keeps it up. But I will say, what you just said is kind of something that always happens. So you said that we're excited to see young guys do well, right?
Yeah.
At what point, I know it's only 40 games in the season. Let's say it's after the All-Star break, 85, 90 games for the Yankees still in first place. Do you trade some of these prospects for a top-flight pitcher, a stud, a guaranteed ace? Do you do that?
Which one? Wait, but that's case by case.
To me, there's two untouchables. It's Frazier and Torres.
Okay.
But they're even talking about
I'm sorry.
Frazier and Torres.
Yeah.
But they're already talking about
Torres for sure.
They're talking about Frazier now might be on the block because they got another guy who I forget his name who's
Not Montgomery. I know he's talking about.
No, he's starting to
not a
hit, and
pitcher,
he's an
a hitter.
Yes.
But I mean,
they said he's untouchable. I was
The
listening to a show
wind
today.
beneath our wings.
he's the wind beneath our wings.
Wow, what a song. It's W-I-N, not two N's, but it's all right.
Win-win.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't. Because
I would trade Frazier.
Are any of those guys going to get... would any of those guys other than Torres or Frazier get a... Torres, I'm sorry. Torres or Frazier get a top-of-the-line ace?
Put it this way. All right, I'll
That's
pose you.
what I'm saying.
I'll
Would
pose
any
you
of those
picture.
guys get it?
Gleyber Torres. He lit up the Arizona Fall League.
He's in AAA now.
MVP,
Got moved to AAA.
Got moved to AAA. If Headley keeps struggling, he will be playing third by the end of the year.
Oh, God, please.
If Headley keeps struggling, who I'm not a big fan of, and judging by Mike's comment, he's not a big fan of.
He's really called off,
He's
too.
gonna-
He's back down to 250.
He's going to be
such a boring
He's going to
bum.
be playing third by the end of the year. That's my guess. But let's say he doesn't, and the Yankees are in first place. They're 4 games up at the All-Star break. Do you trade Torres for, let's say, Quintana,
Hell no.
who is probably the
Wait a
best
minute,
pitcher
wait
on the
a
market right now?
Quintana.
That's the best. If that's
your
the best
ace?
pitcher,
Straight
No,
up?
no, no.
Then
He's the
no way we're touching.
he's
I
the
agree.
he's the best pitcher on the market right
Then
now.
no. Then
He's
keep,
not a
then,
shutdown guy.
then keep
he's
your-
a good pitcher
then
who had a
keep your-
very
very
good
good
year
pitcher.
last
Then
year.
Okay,
keep
but
your
that's
prospects.
that's what I'm asking you guys.
Then
So
no,
who do
keep
you
your
trade?
prospects.
At what point?
I would
do you
trade.
say-
I would trade maybe Frazier for it.
At what point do you say?
Maybe. Not
all right,
Torres.
I'll
Look.
trade Torres for name a pitcher.
Look, put it this way.
Name somebody
Put
who
it
could
this
be
way.
on the block.
Am I saying it right? Giolito?
Yeah.
He was one of the top prospects last year.
Yeah.
He got traded for Chris Sale.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. He got traded for Adam Eden. He wasn't.
Moncada.
Okay.
Moncada
And he
got
dropped
traded for
down.
Sale.
Okay, Moncada. Okay.
Who was the number? Who is
there
the
you
number
go.
one prospect
Okay, there you
in
go.
baseball?
So, I'm sorry. So I got mixed up. Moncada's the number one. Got traded for Sale. Now the guy in the Yankees, Torres, is the number 2.
Right.
So
right. Exactly.
So it's got to be a Chris Sale type play if you go by that, right?
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to give
You
up.
want to get a Chris Sale. Would you say Jose Quintana is up there for that trade then?
No, I'm not
Exactly.
saying I would.
So
but,
that's the type
but
of
you
guy,
know. So my thing is, you hear a lot of talk radio, a lot of people saying, "Oh, the Yankees should, trade some guys, get some
No, I
guys, and
wouldn't.
win now." I don't necessarily disagree with it, but I don't agree with it completely either because you don't know how good. You don't know how many chances you're going to get. You're assuming all these guys are going to be great.
Right.
Torres, Frazier. You're assuming all these guys are going to be.
Is the guy you're
studs.
talking about Blake Rutherford?
Yes, that was the guy you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Rutherford. Yeah. Supposedly he's untouchable too, but you
Okay.
don't know how many chances you're going to get. I mean, look at. I don't want to. We'll go to the Mets, but 2 years ago the Mets were in the World
I know.
Series, and you
You're
thought
right.
they're going to be there. Look at this pitching staff, and now
It's a
this
perfect
is-
Now look
segue.
what happened.
It's a perfect
It's
segue.
perfect.
You're
segue.
right.
Now you look at the Mets now, and you're saying to yourself,
Well,
they're going to trade Harvey at the deadline.
The thing is-
I said this in April. Harvey's going to get
There's
traded.
no value right now.
It doesn't
not
matter.
gonna get traded.
He's
The
going to
polls-
get
no.
traded.
He's not
Because
getting traded.
Wait a minute.
He's going to
It's
get.
a good thing for
You
the
can't.
Mets.
You
He's going to
can't
get traded at the deadline.
Why is he going to get traded now? What? Paul's 100%
Values
right.
at his lowest possible point.
Exactly.
Listen,
You can't. You
they
got to
need
hold
to
him. You're
just
stuck
ride
with
him
him.
out.
Exactly.
Time
you have to
out.
vote. Who are you going to trade him for?
Let me finish.
No timeouts. I say when the timeouts.
Timeout.
Zach Morris, timeout.
Stick in the production booth, stay in the back,
Yeah.
and talk through your speaker.
That's exactly what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. Now.
Harvey,
I'll do it again. See?
just don't mute me. Harvey,
Yeah.
you're not going to pay him.
No.
He's got one more year left. Now, I know he's not pitching great, and I know his value is down. But you're telling me
What are you gonna get, then?
there aren't teams that... It doesn't matter. You're telling me there aren't teams out there that are going to be, come July, that are going to be in the race, that need a quality
four-star?
pitcher.
It's not going to be Harvey.
Well, he could be
The Mets are going to trade him and get what they
Plus,
want.
you're talking about a team, the Mets, that are not in rebuild mode. They were just they were in the World Series and they were in the playoffs.
Exactly.
But
You can't pay him, but
all
you still
these
have
guys.
next year for him to bounce back.
But guess
I
what?
understand
And
that.
also
But now you're
next
getting
year,
him for a year and a
he's not
half.
going next
You're
year.
going to bring back a lot
But
more.
how much?
What are you going to bring back?
You're not paying him that much.
You're not going to bring back anything.
How much you going to pay him, Win?
I know you're not going to get that much, but let's assume.
How much you going to pay him? His value's down.
Let's assume, right, that he has a decent rest of the year. Let's assume.
What's decent?
Let's assume he pitches to a 3.5.
That's very good compared to where he is
National
now.
League?
National League
Compared
is
to
not
where
very
he is now,
National
though.
League, though. National League's not great. I'm
He's gotta pitch really
but
well.
I'm saying he
Yeah.
pitches the rest of the way with 3.5, right?
Okay, yeah, I got you.
From here on
rest
out,
of the
he
way.
pitches the rest of the way
Okay,
three.
yeah.
So maybe he ends up at like a 3.9, whatever.
Okay.
He pitched with 3.5 the rest of the way. You're going to get something for him because he's done it. The talent is there.
There's a pedigree.
Right. I'm not saying he's.
Right now his ERA
I'm
is
not saying he's
5.5.
Clayton Kershaw.
5.5.
5.56, right?
Okay. I'm not saying he's Clayton
You can
Kershaw.
trade that guy?
Not even close.
His WAR is actually negative.
think if-
His
Okay.
WAR is negative.
Okay.
I think if you've been watching
Okay.
the game,
But
His WAR is negative.
It's negative
Mets
0.4.
have the best announcers, better than Bridgeside Sports, and
Well, that's
Whoa,
cool.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Love
whoa.
Mets announcers. Mets announcers are great.
Better than us?
It's pretty bad when you have to talk about the team
No.
announcers.
He just said better than us, not the Yankees.
They're not
the
better
point
than us.
is that
What are you saying?
well, you know, let me talk here.
No, we don't have time.
We got to go around the horn.
But
We
we don't have
baseball.
time.
He knows that his value has just dropped so much; it's almost not worth it.
But to back up Win,
And
what
everyone's been saying it lately.
to back
Okay.
up Win, what he's saying, there are still some good things. When you watch him, he's still throwing gas. He's throwing 96. I was
Velocity's
watching. So I mean, you're right. There are
He has
teams that
stuff.
will,
I just don't think
but they're going to get 10 cents on the dollar.
They're going to
really.
trade him.
Wouldn't it be better just to pay him?
No, I think you ride him out and try to trade him next year if that's the case.
But you always get more when
But
you
don't
trade
you-
a guy for a
I
year
agree,
and a half.
but you're
When's
not
his
going to
contract
get
up?
anything from
Phil,
him
what do you mean?
now.
Yes, you
Another year.
will.
What do you
He
mean?
still has a year left.
Oh, he
on
has a
that.
year left in his contract.
I'm
So
not saying
why
you're
not
going
wait
to bring
that out?
back a number one prospect like Mancada, somebody like that, but you're going to get somebody pretty decent.
I
and
know.
the Mets
think you will.
cannot
Yeah,
pay
but
him.
we'll-
They have too many pitchers. They
No,
need somebody to
but
bring
wait,
somebody back.
he just said
that's
What if you're
But win.
out the
that's if they're out of it.
But when they
Which they
he
very
just
well
said-
could be.
They're
he
running
just
out
said
of
they have
time, yeah.
He said they have there's another year left on that contract.
Yeah.
So you have another year to showcase the guy.
That's what I'm
I
saying. Yes, Chris,
understand
that's what I'm
that,
saying.
but
I understand your point.
You're trading for this guy. If you're a team, let's say, I don't know, the Blue Jays, random team. If you're the Blue Jays and you're in it at the end, and you see and you know what he can
you
do,
desperately
you're
need
working
pitching?
off of what he can do or what he did in the past, not exactly what he's doing right now.
Right.
So even more of a
Well,
reason.
also, you're right.
Let's
there's still
give the
time,
Mets
too. There's
let's
still
give the
time,
Mets
too.
a little less and get him now while we still can.
Right.
Because the talent is there. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Mets are out of it with all the pitching that they have and the headaches Harvey's caused, he's going to go.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he'll
I
get
think
some
he'll
sort
go.
of
I
value.
just don't- if he bounces back, though,
but
he'll
it's not
go.
going to be A or B value. It's
Look,
going to be a C value type person.
Wins wrong. Chris, we're
You
right.
know?
Let's move on.
You can move on. What,
Well, I
May
mean-
22nd.
Well, listen. First of all, we're
See
going
me-
into overtime tonight because
Catch
we
me
started a
outside.
little late.
Catch
I don't
me
care what
outside.
Paul
We gotta
says.
hurry up. We gotta go around the baseball. We
Well,
gotta
first
get
of
the
all,
question
our
of the night.
question of the night is a question we don't need so much time to talk about.
Yeah, let's stick on baseball.
You know,
for a
let's stay
little
with
bit.
baseball. We don't
I
talk
know.
about it that much.
I know. I'm saying.
I like baseball.
The referees have given, the umpires have given 5 minutes more.
Oh, there we go. Oh, this is like soccer. So I want Win to kick it off. He has something to say around baseball.
Go ahead.
I touched on this earlier with the whole Bautista
You looked like
thing.
you were steaming for a second right there about the whole.
No,
Harvey
he's
thing.
tight.
He's like, I'm not wrong.
Just
No,
wait till August 1st. Wait till the deadlines, then we can talk if I'm wrong. But
What do you want to say about
I'm just
Batista?
trying to boil you up, man.
all right. So
The goal.
I am so tired of guys getting hit, right? And I'll give Batista credit for this. He got hit the next day and didn't say anything. He just walked to first because he knew he should have got beamed, right?
He
But
did.
I'm-
That's right.
Yeah, he did. I give him credit for
What
that.
about Boston, Baltimore?
That
That
was a long
situation.
time ago.
That was a long time ago, but yeah.
I know, but still,
But
it
I'm
carries
so
on with this.
tired of guys getting hit and walking out to the mound like they're going to do something. And the bench is clear and everybody's like,
No, nobody.
nothing
fights.
happens.
So you want more
Nothing
fights? Is
happens.
what
You want more fights?
If you're
I
going
want
to
more
charge the
fights.
mound,
Let's
charge
fight.
the mound.
You
If
want-
you're not,
We are
walk to first.
We are pro fighting at Bridgeside
First of all-
Sports.
No, I'm not pro fighting.
Here's what I want to know. First of all,
Like, yeah,
here's what I want
turn
to
to
know.
hockey.
As a catcher,
Except
have you ever been involved in any kind of? You're talking.
Yeah, we've got.
What did you do?
The mud.
Wait, me?
When's
Yeah.
last game
Me
you
charging the
guys
mound?
No, he got thrown out.
No, I'm not going to charge.
Why
Why would I charge? I'm not going to charge the mound unless I thought.
Well,
there
you
was
had
a
to-
reason.
ever
First off,
involved
Wynn
in any
charged
kind
the
of
mound. The
altercation
whole
on the
team and the
mound?
whole world would know
What
he's
do you mean,
coming to the
pitching?
pitch.
I threw the guy at the last game of the year. You knew I was throwing at him.
Catching, like I never saw you get involved. You're saying, "Oh, I'm tired of them." Like
No,
there's
I'm
some kind of
talking about
brawl
the
or
batters.
something.
I'm talking about the guys hitting.
Getting hit.
The guys who are getting hit.
And
if
they
you're
walk
going
at-
to charge the
yeah,
mound, charge the mound.
Like Robin
So
Ventura.
you never thought about charging the mound when you got hit? First
Yeah,
of
but
all,
these
you were
guys
probably
walk,
relieved,
But he
'cause you'd
never
have-
did. But he never did. I understand what I'm saying. If you're gonna if you get hit and you're pissed and you're gonna charge them out, go out there and throw some punches. Don't just go out there and say,
Don't
take a couple of
So why do you
steps.
think it doesn't happen
Take
anymore?
a couple of steps.
So
this
why
and
does
that.
it not happen anymore?
Because everybody's
Nobody fights
afraid,
anymore.
it's a career. I don't want to hurt a guy, this, that. But
Suspensions.
don't act like a tough guy.
That's the
all
thing.
I'm saying. Don't act like
Exactly.
a
Do what
Stan-
Batista did. Do what
Stan
Batista
got
did,
hit
right?
the other day. He's 6'9", 250 pounds. He got hit and he walked like 2 steps. Then the whole bench is cleared. Everybody's grabbing somebody. Mattingly was being held back.
Why don't we
First
get
of all,
Tino?
Mattingly.
Why don't we get?
It
Why
was
don't we get?
awesome.
What about Tino? Why don't we get Tino hit again? See what
Strawberry
happens with
with
Tino.
Tino.
Dan
over the
probably
top.
didn't go out there because
Graham Lloyd.
he'd probably kill whoever was on the mound. They didn't want to kill him.
No, but come on. That's
You're saying if you're gonna do what Batista did, get hit and walk to first. Don't act like a tough guy. Just go to
First
first.
of all,
you're saying.
Batista-
But if you do
and if
go
you're
to the
going to
mound,
charge the mound,
charge the
it.
mound.
Don't
Don't
wait
wait
till everybody gets involved
Batista
to hold
will never
somebody.
charge the mound because he got rocked in the face by
Oh,
the
he
door
took
last
that.
year.
He
and if he
took-
takes another punch like that, I don't think he. I think he'll
but you know,
retire.
he
Odors
took that and
crushed
didn't
him.
miss a game. Let's give him credit for taking that
Oh,
punch.
come
man.
on. Miss a
got
game.
destroyed.
He got hit in the face.
And he took a punch.
You can play without
Geno
your
Smith
face.
sat out
Geno
the next
Smith
game
after you got
Geno
punched in
Smith
the
got
face?
Geno Smith got hit in the face and broke his jaw. Had to get surgery.
Yeah, but he got cold.
He's the worst. And now
Yeah,
he's
but
on
he
the
like owed the guy
Giants.
money or something. And I was on the Giants.
Yeah, I know. He's the worst.
Yo, can you pull up?
By the way,
a
Yankees won
picture-
4-2 tonight.
Can you pull a picture from the guy in Men in Black who head gets blown off? If that's not Jose Bautista
sorry,
to a T,
what?
it's exactly him.
The
Men
guy
in
with
Black.
Yeah, I know who you're
Tony
talking about.
Shalhoub, bro.
Is it
Tony
really?
Shalhoub. The
Is it
monk.
really?
That's the monk.
Monk.
The guy in Men in
Wings, too.
Black that Tommy Lee Jones blows his head off?
Yes.
That's Tony Batista to a T.
No,
you have any
Jose-
idea how
you're
much that
mixing everyone.
stings?
Jose Batista.
Jose Batista. What did I say,
Tony Batista.
Tony Batista.
Tony Batista's nice,
even close
nice
to
player.
Six
Jose
stance,
also
though,
Tony-
yeah.
not even
Tony Batista
close.
had a six stance.
All right, I'm
Look,
gonna pull it up.
anyway-
I'll show
Wait,
you guys
who's the
on
best
set.
team in baseball right now? Houston or
Houston
And then you
came
got
in-
Colorado in the NL.
Houston came
What's
in and
up with
swept the
Colorado?
Yankees.
They
Houston
didn't
came.
sweep them.
I'm sorry,
3
you're
or
right.
4.
They're 3 out of 4.
I
You're
still
right.
think
They won 3 out of
Washington
4.
is the best team.
Washington is a team to beat.
You think they're the best team in
Definitely-
baseball? Yeah, let's talk about
I
that.
agree. Washington's best team. They have best. Some of the best.
They don't have the best bullpen. They do
No,
not
they're
have the
both
worst
worst
bullpen.
Well,
that's
and they're
what
going
we're
to
worried.
trade.
They're
They're going to
trade.
get a piece. They're going to get a piece.
They're gonna
Better get a piece.
for-
Otherwise, they ain't going nowhere.
They
I
have
agree.
legitimately.
They're trading for Robinson.
They have 4 or 5 guys that could. They probably have 5 guys that could hit 300 on that team.
Rendon, Harper,
Turner's going to hit
yeah,
300.
Murphy,
Zimmerman-
Murphy without doubt.
Zimmerman
And Zimmerman.
was hitting 430.
That's 5. That's 5.
Sorry, he was in 430.
I mean-
Harper's OPS is what, 1.4?
Harper's
Was
on
it?
another level. He's on Trout level. Those two are on a different level. They're on a different playing
Trout
field.
is
Trout's a
just
monster.
Trout is just
Yeah, but Harper's going to get to that level. He hasn't had the pedigree of Trout, but he will. He will. He's still
agree.
really young.
The Mets almost intentionally walked Trout with the bases loaded the other day.
That's not Jose Batista.
I don't know if
That's Jose
I don't know
Batista.
if
Are you
who-
kidding
who
me?
did?
I've never seen
The
Jose
Mets
Batista
almost.
out of BS.
They walked
intentionally
Trout?
almost.
Well, they should.
There he is. It's Jose. Jose Batista to a
Jose
T.
What good
but-
is that? They can't see that.
They can't see Jose
I know.
Batista.
but it's-
What
I
are we
gotta
gonna
we
look
got-
at? What are we
we
gonna
have
look
to
at
get
pictures of Tony
guys, it's not
Shalhoub?
Jose
we have to get
Batista.
the we have to get
See,
the
I
graphics
think,
guy on that.
in my opinion, Houston is the best team in
Oh
baseball.
my God! There's a meme. I'm sorry. There's a meme. Look.
Oh.
Before and after. Look. I didn't. Come on.
So you're
Come
obviously
on.
on
Yo,
point.
Paul, zoom in on this, Paul.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but it's not like he's our best friend,
Come
this
on.
guy.
There's no cameras in there, Wins.
Can somebody
Zoom in.
Share the link with me and I can post it.
Somebody teach this kid how a studio works, please.
Zoom in. Nobody's here. No, but listen, I think Houston's the best team in baseball.
Another really
I
good
agree
lineup.
with you. I
Their
agree. Another
bullpen
great
is
offense.
I'm
ridiculous.
trying.
And another great offense. They have Giles, Gregerson, and the guy we just talked about.
Yeah, but
his name just
Keuchel.
gave me right
Dallas
now.
Keuchel?
No, the
Oh,
bullpen guy.
Davinsky.
Davinsky. Thank
And,
you.
the,
I'm sorry.
and the guy, they had that guy, Will Smith, who's on the DL
Yes.
for the whole
And
year.
their bullpen's
Will
great.
Smith is in Men in Black.
It's true. It's all
Full circle, baby.
But what they need is Keuchel. They have to survive the Keuchel injury.
Yeah, they got to
That's gonna be
survive that.
tough.
I mean, Morton is obviously a revelation, and then
Charlie Morton.
Charlie
baby.
Morton, baby.
A
I called it
revelation?
first episode of the season. Go look back. No, yeah, a revelation, meaning he was not good before that, really. Now he's actually a decent pitcher. And then you got the other guys on Houston are decent pitchers. I mean, Musgrove isn't a bad 4 or 5 guy.
McCullers.
McCullers is having a great year. McCullers is having a great year. He should make the All-Star game. He should make the All-Star game. That's how good he's doing.
And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. But yeah, I mean, those players are great. But we're coming down to the wire.
Yeah.
And I want to bring it to question
about
question
8 minutes,
again.
8 to 10 minutes left. Looks like the overtime.
Paul,
Yeah.
I just sent you
OT.
Jose Batista. Check your email.
OT here.
Facebook.
Question of the night. People.
It's a lot of work.
Once again, I'm going to bring it up. Are the Cleveland Cavaliers and Golden State Warriors, are they good or are they bad for basketball? Send us your comments now. Send us what you think. We're going to talk about it now. And I think that's a kind of a question where there's no wrong or right answer.
Come on.
I think, oh my God. He looks like Jose Batista on crack. No, oh my
This
God.
is what drugs do to you.
There's a fake eye.
This is what drugs do to you.
That's great.
So tell him what was that?
Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs.
This is what drugs do to you.
That's what happened if the Odor cracked him? Is that what that's
that
supposed
was
to be?
one of the best
Punches of
That was like Nolan Ryan and Ventura.
Oh, they still talk about that till
Well, he
this
just
day.
grabbed his head and just started
Put him in a
pounding on
headlock.
him, yeah.
Boom, boom.
When I take it back, when other people have your sick mind.
That's a great call, right? Can you post
That's a
that?
great poll.
He did. I
Thank
see
you,
it. I
thank
see
you.
it.
He
I see
posted
it.
it.
He put it up.
posted
He
it.
put it up on the feed.
So,
All right.
what do you guys think? I mean, are they good? I don't think there's a wrong or right answer. I think it's both good and bad. You know, in ways, right?
I do think it's both. I think, unfortunately, like when LeBron went to the Heat, I think that was great for basketball because that's all people wanted to watch. You were tuning in to see LeBron lose. That's what you wanted to
Right.
watch. He was the villain.
Right,
But
he
I
became
think
the
now
villain.
it's going too far because now it's just nobody can challenge these guys. At the beginning of the season, how many teams really think they can win the title?
3 or 4.
Tops.
That's
Tops
bad.
3 or 4.
That's
How many
bad.
people
That's
do
bad for the
do
NBA.
analysts think?
Exactly. That's
win?
horrible for the NBA.
But isn't the NBA at an all-time high in terms of viewer rating?
But
and all
that's
stuff?
the good part of it. Are people watch? But I would love to see the playoffs ratings.
Basketball is the biggest sport now. I mean, teaching when you're in high school, every kid wants to play basketball. They don't want to play baseball anymore. It's
100%.
boring to them.
Yep.
All
To
right?
watch. It's
so
boring to watch.
basketball is a sexy sport, and young kids don't really care if there's just 2 powerhouse teams. They don't care.
Well,
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
no.
all
I
right,
mean,
but let me say this though. When basketball, I felt like was at its highest, maybe because we were kids, was when
Lakers?
Jordan was kind of beating everybody, right? But they had awesome teams.
Yes, that's the.
there's other awesome teams.
Basketball is a star-driven league. Not when all the stars are on 2 teams.
Right.
That's the problem.
That's the
you
problem.
had Jordan, you had Isaiah Thomas, you had Magic Johnson, you had Charles Barkley, you had Clyde
Ewing,
Drexler, you had Ewing.
Olajuwon.
You had all these guys on separate teams. Now they're all just going to one team. And now you have the Warriors have 4 of the best players in the league, and the Cavaliers have 3 of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No, it is.
What the Cavaliers are doing to the number 1 seed in the East is ridiculous. We talk about if the Celtics have the number 1 pick this year, which is phenomenal. If they draft the best player in the league,
They're still not even close.
they're
right?
still not going to beat the Cavs next year.
It's not.
And I
No,
thought it was
they're
great
not.
for this segue. They're still not going to be. How could that be good for the NBA?
No.
That just nobody is. And you know what you're doing? You're actually encouraging tanking. That's the problem.
Cuban
I hear
said
them
it.
all Exactly. I hear them all talking about sports radio and they're flipping out. It's like, the Knicks should just lose. The Knicks should just lose. I see both sides of the argument. Do you really want to go out there and just lose? Like the coaches are going to draw plays like, just do this. We don't want even you to score this basket because you just want to lose. But there's no point to win. You're not going to beat the Cavs.
Right.
You're not going to beat the Warriors.
Why even come in the 8th seed? It's like the worst
I'm gonna
spot
tell
to
you
be.
right now.
Exactly. Why be the 9th seed even worse?
As
Oh,
a
no, 9th seed, you have a lot.
GM,
There is
here's
a
some
9th
advice. I'm going to tell if you want to be an NBA GM. If you want to be an NBA GM
For those of you out
win,
there.
and win 8 championships, here's what you do. You tank, so you guarantee you get the first pick, right? In a
You
really
don't
good
guarantee
draft.
that. You don't guarantee
You don't
that
guarantee
with
it,
the
yeah.
lottery.
All right, you don't guarantee it, but you get yourself
You
the
get your
best
odds.
shot, right?
Okay. You get the odds.
Then you take you get lucky enough that it's a superstar player. Then you make sure he gets a lot of friends in the NBA. Then he convinces his friends to play on your team, and then you win 8 championships. That's what the Cleveland Cavaliers, that's what the Miami Heat did. That's what the Cleveland Cavaliers do.
Golden State.
You have to basically be at the bottom to now come up. You need to get that sick once in a generation player, a couple in a generation player, and then he brings his friends.
That's what it's become. You're right, and it's sad because there's no parity. just like the NFL, there's parity. You don't know who's going to win.
Well, except the Patriots.
Well, except the Patriots.
that's
but
good. And
but it's
NFL is
different.
at all-time highs in
NFL
ratings. Why? Because
Well, no, but there's
we know
certain
why the
things.
it
NFL.
just went down a little.
There's
bit.
no,
certain
but you
things
know
about
why the
different
NFL is the
sports.
highest. But I will
Because they play once a week.
Because they play once
It's
a week
different,
and
but you
gambling.
tell me the parity doesn't
Gambling
help.
and fantasy.
But
That's
the
the
parity
reason. No
doesn't
other
help.
Yeah.
But the parity helps, man.
The parity 100%
But
helps.
the thing is, there's always going to be parity in the NFL just because, think about it, you have a 53-man roster. Guys are going to get hurt all the time in football. So a team could go from best to horrible in a second. Their quarterback goes down, the
Right.
season's over.
Right.
And then
But you can say the
other
same thing about basketball. Though. LeBron gets
Yeah,
hurt, which is
but,
seems to
but
never
also
happen.
any given Sunday is the thing with football. Like literally, the
movies.
Giants could beat the Patriots undefeated season in the Super Bowl, and it happened.
Yeah.
So that's the case. The Patriots are the better team that year. They're the better team that year. We won the Super Bowl though. That's football for you.
Parity
It's one
helps.
game.
Parity
There's no
definitely
series.
But in terms of
Parity
young
helps-
kids in basketball, they don't care. They just want to see superstars. It's a superstar-driven
yes.
league.
I literally
That's all they care about.
I wish they
And you,
would.
maybe you could attest this too. I teach. Nobody's a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Kid,
Why would they be a Knicks fan,
Because
though?
you live in New York.
It's not like that
They
anymore.
are putting a horrible product
I
out there.
understand that, but
and
you
part
live
of
in
it's
New York.
because part of it is, I mean, we're still Knicks fans, but you're growing up.
I don't like this generation. The ones.
Come on, I'm an Islander
After
fan.
us.
It's been rough since the day I was born, you know?
Yeah,
So-
you got to be a diehard. You got to learn. You got to be.
You got to
that's the
fight
way-
through it. Like I give
that's
Met
the way
fans,
we all
I give
are,
Met
yeah.
fans credit. They may need their head examined, but I give them credit. You know,
Yeah.
they fight through it.
I'd rather somebody be a diehard fan of something than flip flop to all these different teams, barely watch
that's-
these sports.
but that's what's being
these
created
old kids are.
today.
That's what I was
But
gonna say.
You turn on
that's their
ESPN.
fault. That's
You turn
Gen
on
Y's fault, not our
But
fault.
no, it's ESPN's fault, and
Gen
it's how
Y.
these teams are being built. Though, if you're literally you're telling look at YouTube generation, everything they want instant gratification. But if you're not a fan of right now the Warriors and the Cavaliers, what's the point of rooting for your team? That's how kids are thinking right now. What's the point of rooting for your team?
Because you have
terrible,
no chance
though.
of winning.
Exactly, but.
I don't
Can
like
you
that
completely argue with that?
I know,
though?
but I don't like that the NFL and all these leagues are catering to the needs of the young generation.
Well, who else
Like,
are they going to cater to though?
Well,
These are the
no,
guys that are going to
they're
watch
still,
it for a long
They're still
time.
our generation, which we're the
That's
Gen
true.
X, and then
Well,
the baby
no, we're
boomers.
not Gen
The baby
X.
boomers are still alive. My
We're not
father,
Gen
your
X, baby.
father,
We're
is still alive.
millennials.
Well, millennials. Isn't that Gen X or is that Gen Y?
We're on the border.
We're
I
on the
think.
close.
No,
though.
Gen X is millennials.
I don't
We're a
think we
little
act
bit
like
thing.
millennials. I don't think we
Wait,
act
Gen
like
X
those.
is millennials. It's the same generation, pretty much.
I
Gen
thought it
Y
was
is the
separated.
The
new
younger,
one.
the better. The younger they can hook
But those
them, the
kids
better.
have
yes, that's true.
ADD. They could barely watch this show for
that's
more than 2 minutes.
That's the-
Are you
but-
kidding me?
But
Which is
that's
why
That's
baseball
why they're not
is
going to be
going
Knicks
down
fans.
the tube.
That's why baseball's going down. That's why no one's
It'll
going to be a
always
Knicks
come
fan.
back, though.
Who's going to be a Knicks fan? They got 2 minutes, so they can watch a game for 2 minutes. So they're going to be down by 30. So they're not going
Yeah.
to watch a Knicks game. Kristaps Porzingis, you're lucky if he hits a couple of shots, and then maybe you could attract him. But if not, who are they going to watch on the Knicks?
The question is, who are they good or bad? Is this good or bad for basketball?
I think overall, it's
I want to
bad
hear
for
everybody's
basketball.
opinion.
I think it's bad.
I think it's bad.
Personally, I think it's bad, but I think if you're the commissioner of the NBA, you don't really care.
You're
I think
making
you
money
could
because
argue,
you're
I
making
think you
money.
could
Yeah.
argue that it's good, but I think it's bad. I think the finals is great. Don't get me wrong,
It's
the finals
bad.
is
I think it's
unbelievable.
bad for the entire regular season, the entire playoffs until the finals. Then the finals, it's great
So
because now
overall bad.
you got like a rivalry brewing. You know what I mean? And great players playing each other. But it's that one finals that all that matters.
Yeah, I tell you
That's
what.
all that matters.
If there's one upset though, if you get an upset,
Yes.
it's probably not going to happen this year.
It will
but if you
never
get an
happen.
upset where like
Everything's
then it'll be like
then it
it'll
crumbles
rock
down
the
the tube.
world.
Then it
No,
crumbles.
but it'll also be a shock factor and it'll be a big thing. You know what I mean? It'll cause.
So wait, but you're okay with Chris? You're all right with like 5 or 6 straight Warriors versus Cavs finals? You'll be all right with that?
I mean, would I
You
be
said-
all right with it?
I would actually be okay with that.
That would break
I'm
records.
not okay with that.
It breaks records.
I
not
don't
okay
like
with
it,
that.
but I'd probably tune in.
Hell yeah. I would
because
definitely tune in.
it creates that much more of a rivalry.
I'm a fan of the best teams making the finals. I always want the best teams to win, and that's why I like basketball. Is because it's always the best teams that win. That's what I like about
Yeah,
basketball.
but I like-
always the best teams win. Usually, I mean, football. Sometimes the best team doesn't win. For,
But that's what you like
baseball.
about it?
Sometimes the best team doesn't win. Yeah, I like to see the team that
Because-
deserves to win. Okay, I like to see that. That's why
that's boring.
baseball shouldn't like the baseball playoff structure is awful.
Baseball?
The baseball playoff structure is horrible. because you play 162 games to play a 5-game series in the first round, not even to mention the wild card, the 1-game playoff.
Yeah.
What do you want to make
After
it?
162 games.
Wanna
And
make it
that's
best
the
of
cater.
13?
That's retarded.
That's the cater to the younger
That is
generation.
so dumb. Think
That's
about
the
it.
cater to the younger generation.
If football,
More excitement.
I mean,
Baseball playoffs are great.
It's not the younger generation. It
No, but
keeps
but it's
people
bad. It's too
interested,
short.
Chris.
It's too
It
short.
keeps fans
well, you can never
interested.
shorten the
At the
season
end of the
because
season, for the regular
it's all
season.
stats
Yeah,
driven.
yes.
Exactly. I know
So they'll
that.
never go
They're
to
never going to go
100. They're never
lower.
gonna
They're
do
never
that.
going to
They're
shorten
never
the
gonna.
season because
'Cause everything's
stats.
baseball's numbers.
But if you could, you would, because honestly, if you want to say that basketball best of 7 series is the first round in basketball and hockey, and it's 82 games, it's half the games of baseball, then baseball
kind
should
of
be a
agree with.
13-game series compared to a 7-game series.
Okay, no,
it's double
but
the games.
I understand, but
no,
no,
you know the logic is there.
mathematically,
The
I know.
logic is
But
there.
I do agree that the best of 5 is a little too short. I mean that.
So is the
I've said
wild
that.
card, but I get the wild card
I
because
understand
it brings other markets
for regular
to the fold.
season. For the regular
Yeah,
season,
it brings
but
other
the best
teams into
of
the fold.
5. I think the best of 5 could be made a best of 7.
Easily. You could easily do that. Why don't they
could
do
be-
that?
that
It
could be
should
a
not be a
question of the
5-game
night now.
series. It doesn't make sense. If basketball's first round is a 7-game series, and so is hockey's, how is baseball's a
Playoffs should be
5?
3 games. Steven said.
I actually like.
See, Stephen James said all started with LeBron James
I
going
like
to
the
Miami.
extra. Yeah, I like the extra playoffs though.
Yeah.
I like the extra wildcard team.
No, I like it
It should be
for...
3 games in the next round, 5 games.
I like it because that's all you can do, really, to
That's
add
not
teams
bad.
to the
It's not
playoff
only
structure.
add teams, but it takes away the whole.
If
I
you
don't
have a
care if I
buck,
win the
you're done.
division or not.
Case in
Right.
point.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but
The Mets.
no, but it also gives teams like
Yep.
Kansas City Royals and the Pittsburgh Pirates for 3 years in a row to actually have a chance to
Yeah,
make the
it keep-
playoffs, you know, by
That's
being
why
a
it's good.
second wild card. You
That's
know what
why
I mean?
it was good.
Come
That's why
August
it's good.
1st,
But I don't like that the structure in general as playoffs.
August
is bad.
1st, there are going to be
Very
10
bad.
teams in. 10 teams, August 1st, you're going to see in each league
What, and the-
No.
that have a
In baseball?
chance for a
Oh,
wild card.
yeah. And
yeah.
that is
That's
Baseball's
why they
always
do
like
it.
Yes,
that,
and I
though.
agree with you. No,
That's
it's
why
more
they
Baseball is
so-
always a race somewhere.
No, but it's
There's
more
always a
so.
race.
It's more so with the 2 wild card now.
I know,
He's
yeah.
right.
Well,
He's
but
right.
that's what I mean. There's always
think
a
about
race
how
for
it
the bottom
used to be.
spot.
It used to just be the best team. What was it? At the end of the year, it was the.
So you just went to the World Series.
Yeah, it was just the 2 best teams.
Hence why Yogi Berra has
But
10
that
rings.
was actually that's how baseball should be, to be honest.
Don't leave
You
me
just
hanging,
wait.
man. Don't leave me hanging.
No, I'm saying that
Only me.
the 162 game season
bad.
That's
should mean more. You know what I mean? That's what I'm
Okay.
trying to say. That's why I'm saying make the playoffs longer games, but you can't do that, obviously. So the real
Soccer
way is to
is
do
the
it the way it used to
best.
be. But the problem
Look at
is
that.
then you lose money. You lose money when you don't have more
Soccer
playoffs,
playoff
right?
system is the
You
best,
get more money
Chris.
when you have more playoffs. What?
Soccer system is the best.
Absolutely, and I agree 100%. Soccer system's unbelievable.
2 legs and then penalties.
And everybody should
Soccer
copy
is
soccer
all
system.
one and done.
If
Yeah.
you ever get a
What are
game
you
that goes to
talking
penalties,
about?
it's a train wreck.
No, the soccer, the actual structure of how teams win leagues and all that stuff.
They get kicked out of
for the
leagues.
fact that a championship could end on penalty kicks.
That's
There's
ridiculous.
no other way to
Forza
do it.
Italia.
Why?
But then it can't be
Just
the
you
best
should keep
system.
playing.
What do you
Milano
think?
said
They keep
something about
playing?
Keep playing.
Do you know how hard that
Of
is
course,
for these
but-
guys?
Tough. You want to win a championship? You want to be a champion? Don't give me penalty kicks.
Play like a champion.
Well, you do get one
no
overtime.
excuses. Rule
You
number
get a
32.
30-minute overtime, and then you get penalties.
Well, if
Any-
you
I
don't
need- I need
score,
the
you
big
should
guy.
keep going.
Anything that
Need
can
the
come
big
down
guy.
to penalty kicks can't be the best playoff system. It can't.
No, the system itself. What they
You're talking
do.
about relegation and stuff.
What
No.
are we talking about right now?
All right, so in
Are we still talking the question of the night?
no, absolutely not.
Not at all.
Well, we saw a
I was just gonna
comment.
say,
Went to
I
playoff
think-
structures.
I think-
That's a
All
great
right, let's go
argument,
back.
though.
Wait, we never got
hold
Paul.
on.
We never got Paul's answer
Are
about
there
good or
caps?
bad.
I think it's
sorry.
okay for basketball. I don't know, okay for the NBA because they're still going to make their numbers because it's a player-driven sport,
Star-driven
individual.
sport, correct.
So people pay to see LeBron James. People pay to see Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. It doesn't matter about the Knicks and whoever they have.
right.
But it's bad for the sport of basketball, I would say. So good for the NBA maybe, but bad for the overall sport.
Yeah, do you know how much I was looking at? I
So
remember
good for the bottom line, but bad for the product.
when Golden State was coming into MSG to play the Knicks, and the Knicks were horrible. The cheapest seat was over $300.
That's the Knicks, man. I don't understand that though.
no,
No,
but it was
because you're going to see Golden
just
State.
to see Golden State.
Yeah.
It's like the
Smack
Yankees.
your
The Yankees
team.
travel.
Yeah, that people
You
are
want to
paying how
see
much money-
Curry? You want? Well, that was the thing with when LeBron was on Miami. They
Resting.
were a traveling show.
Well, what about the resting, though?
They
People
were
buying the
villains.
tickets and then they're
They
resting.
were
That's the whole
villains.
story.
People wanted
I know,
to
but
see
he
him.
just brought it up. He said, "Well,
That's
they come, they
Popovich's
buy tickets to watch
fault, too.
Golden State smack
That
their
is
team,
Popovich's
but then what if they don't
Everybody
play?"
He
says
did that on a
Popovich is like
TNT.
God.
Because he did that on a TNT game. It was Miami versus San Antonio, and he benched all the guys. He got fined like $250,000.
Here's a
by
better
David
question.
Stern.
How much?
Before we
He got
end this,
fined by like $250,000 by David Stern.
Phil, here's a better question before we end this. Better than is it good or bad? 5 years from now, if it stays like this, does basketball take a dip or does it go up?
What do you mean?
Like, does
I
it
see what
become
you're
a more popular sport or a lot less popular of a sport? If it stays this way for the
model.
future,
With no parity, you're talking
Yeah,
about?
like Golden State, Cleveland. Everybody's stacking 2 teams, 3 teams, and that's it. Everybody else has no chance.
I think
if it
it'll
stays
be
like that
bad.
for the next 5-6 years, is it stay?
I
How
think
does
it's
it go?
bad.
I think the ratings will eventually
Will dip, right?
I think they'll
I think
eventually
so.
be, because you know
Could be a disaster.
Because what's going to happen? What will happen is that LeBron will retire.
And it's
and
over.
then what happens? That system
Durant.
will crumble.
Hold on.
The
Right.
system will crumble because you had
It's on
so
2
many,
legs.
Because you had
One leg's
exactly,
gone.
Exactly. You had so many guys just expecting to tank. Now, like you said, that one leg crumbled, and now no one's going to be ready to step up because they're so used to just losing.
Right.
That's all they're doing is losing.
I would like to see
Or
another
you get
team
the
really do
Lakers
something.
Or you get one of those 2 teams not make it. If you get like a surprise team to make the finals, then
It doesn't matter. If it goes back to it the next year, then it's still the same
that's
thing.
true. That's a good
yeah,
point.
but
Yeah, I
all
mean,
right.
I don't think the NBA cares, though. I really don't think
they care about money.
And I think
they all care about money.
I don't think
that-
kids
it's a
care
business.
either.
I think they'll
the
care
sport
if the
is.
ratings start to dip.
Yeah,
I don't think they will, though,
Okay.
because kids love basketball. That's the sport. That's the sexy sport to play now.
It's the
Yeah,
easiest sport to play.
but basketball is also.
Nobody wants to watch a guy throw a ball and then wait 35 seconds, throw a ball.
Well, they
again.
all have ADD. These kids. I mean, like, what the hell? They can't watch baseball because
Nah,
it's
I
slow.
don't think all kids have ADD. I think that's a little
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, they can't watch something for more than 10 minutes. Like, I don't understand.
All right,
Baseball's action. That's the only reason why I like it.
That's something
Football's once a week. It has action.
That's
I get
something
it.
completely
but-
different.
yeah.
I mean, now you're talking about just the attention span with
These
cell
are
phones.
future
but
topics.
they-
These are
well,
future
Well,
topics.
like, you know.
Those are
Future
social
topics,
issues.
Chris. Thank you. Future topics.
Well, this is a social issue.
Exactly.
We don't do
Alright.
social issues on this show.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. That's the end of today's episode. We went a little over. Hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, same time as tonight, Bridgeside Live with Corey Singer. Check it out. Should be a good episode. And then come back with us next week, Monday, every Monday night at 9. And every day we post 1-minute clips. Check them out. Facebook, YouTube, wherever.
Instagram.
GoBridgeside.com.
Yeah, GoBridgeside.com.
Check it out. Thanks, guys.
Tony Shalhoub, baby.